I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, a roll call note that as of this moment, Lisa Potts is not in attendance. Everybody else is. First up is the approval of the consent agenda.
I move that we approve this evening's consent agenda.
Which is the minutes from last board meeting and the financials and payables. Do I have a second?
Support.
Any further discussion, any questions on anything in there? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Public comments. Anybody here to make a comment in front of the board? Okay, we got kind of a packed agenda. We'll start out with committee reports, financial.
Quite active finance committee prior to today's board meeting. So we went over both. Two things in our packet, obviously, is the updates to the bond and the bids that went out that we will hopefully come to motion to approve. And everything looks in order there, so it's really exciting to start see some activity on the bond, on the greater updates to the high school and around. Second was the presentation to the finance committee by our CPAs, Brickley DeLong, which covered our 23-24 audit. And those packets are also available for every board member to view. Yeah. If you have any very, very specific questions on that, I will find an answer.
We'll ask Patrick when he's here.
Yeah, or ask Patrick.
Ask right now if you got them.
And Patrick will be covering that too in his presentation. So yeah, so a lot going on, and it's good to see things start moving.
Okay, thank you very much. Those who don't know, Matt is here from OAK, so he'll be answering any questions on that, along with Patrick for the audit. Next up, academic affairs.
Okay, yeah, we met earlier and we received an update from John Allen on elementary, the pilots for the ELA program, and as well as the Bridges math update. And then Jen Schultz gave us an update on advanced placement and curriculum updates, and talked about the academic awards ceremony, which was meeting that night, I think.
Okay. And it looks like we have a student representative report. Any introductions first?
Yeah, so we have two incredible students here from National Honor Society, Ella and Jordan, and I'm gonna turn it over to them.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a senior. I'm Ella, and I'm also a senior. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing shorts. It's because I just came from cheer practice in the elementary school gym, so it's very hot. But we're just going to tell you guys a little bit about what NHS is doing and about what the school is doing. Okay. Yeah, so recently in October, we did a blood drive. So a bunch of the NHS students members volunteered to help, like give water and snacks to the students who were giving blood, and there's also students in NHS and outside of NHS giving blood. So that was just a really good opportunity to, be a community and help support other people. And it was also open to the public for anyone who wanted to come in and also give blood. And then we also, as you mentioned, we had our induction ceremony, which awards were given that night as well. And all of the new inductees got inducted into NHS. There were quite a few. And then also NHS NHS, what NHS has to offer is many volunteer opportunities. For example, you can work the concession stands at volleyball games, or you could volunteer with the Salvation Army, or I've listed Love Inc. or United Way of Lakeshore. So those are some good opportunities to help out the community around here, and all of the students at NHS have access to those, and their contact infos and as such. And then, yeah, we're also both part of the environmental club here at Muskegon. So environmental, we promote like environmentally friendly alternate solutions both in the school and outside the school. So we do cleanups of like gardens and the outdoor classroom, which is right down there by the lake. We've also started a new recycling program where we like got new recycling bins for all the classrooms, right, recently? Yeah, and then people from the environmental club will go around each classroom and collect all of their recyclables. Yeah, bring them to where they are supposed to be. And then we are also part of NAHS, the National Arts Honor Society, and in there right now we are doing candle making, and we are selling the candles to anyone who would like them as a fundraiser to do more things with the National Arts Honor Society. And then I was just gonna say stuff about how I'm in competitive cheer and how I came from practice just now, and how we are working very hard. I think you guys know we made it to states last year, so we are working very, very hard to make it again this year, adding another practice to every single week, and an extra 30 minutes to every practice. So we will be working very hard to make it there again. I think of myself. And one more thing, we recently started, some of the younger kids started a poetry club just like last week, right? Yeah, some sophomores, I think, started the poetry club. Yeah, so we're both part of that now. It's just starting, but it's exciting to see where that's going, and it's nice to have more clubs and more places that younger kids and older kids can hang out. Yeah, there's also an LGBTQ club. I'm not part of it, but I've heard that there's a lot of positivity being spread around there, and I know there's a lot of LGBTQ kids who go here and like to participate in that and just like to spread awareness about it. Yep.
That's a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you have time for class?
They're both great students too, they really are. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Jen, did you have another introduction today?
Did we add that?
You can,
Okay.
yes.
I will
It
give
is official as of a few hours ago.
Yeah, so it's a whirlwind. So this person's not here because it was a whirlwind. Carrie Williams is going to be our new special education teacher. So we're really excited to have her. She's got great experience coming to us with students and is a member of this community, and we're just really excited. So she's going to begin on Monday with the transition, shadowing with Ms. Hausman and helping that for our students, and we're really excited. I'll send you guys like a little write-up of the process and everything like usual, but it was like accepted verbally at 11, came and signed the contract at 2. It was really fast, so thanks to Kurt and Christy and the team for helping to get that rolling so quickly.
Okay. That is it for committee reports. It is time for Patrick's presentation of the audit from Brickley DeLong.
All right. Hi, my name is Patrick Chrysler. I'm a partner with Brickley DeLong. What I want to do is just take a couple minutes, just go over the high points in the audit. Really, this is an opportunity to ask questions. I did all my communication required with the Finance Committee already. So really, like I said, this is your chance if you've got questions to go ahead and ask, and hopefully I can answer as long as they're not too far into the weeds. Otherwise, I'll fail to mark here. So you do have 2 packets. One of them it says single audit on the front. That is the one we're not going to talk about. And we're going to focus on the other one. If you turn to page 1 in that report. That is the independent audit report, if I can ever get there myself. And I like it, they keep revising this, and they did it a few years ago, so the report keeps getting longer, but the important stuff moved to the top. So the first paragraph goes over what we're giving an opinion on. The second paragraph is the opinion, and it's what's known as a clean or unmodified opinion, which basically means that we're happy with the financial statements. moving forward to the actual page 4, which is MD&A. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but I'm seeing a lot of new faces, and the MD&A is a great place to go ahead and read the financial statements. It kind of tells you why things are up or why things are down, and if you read 2 or 3 years in a row, it'll give you kind of an idea of the history of what's happening in schools. So I encourage you to go through that. The Finance Committee tolerated me going line by line through a lot of the schedules. So, then if you turn over to, let's skip all the way to page 15, and this is a statement of revenues, expenditures, and change in fund balance. So these would be the same reports that you're getting from every month from Mark, and he gives these to you. And these are the ones the state focuses on. So the ones that are in the management discussion analysis, those are what's called full accrual, which means all the funds are kind of squished together. State of Michigan is really focused on a fund-by-fund basis. And these are what's called modified accrual, which to put it in layman's terms, it's cash basis or will be cash shortly. So you can see that for the year, you ended up with a pretty sizable increase in fund balance of $572,000. The only thing I'd caution you on is that's due to those ESSER funds that you're getting from the Fed. So it's like a one-time little fund that's coming through, and that's what's driving that. So Mark can probably tell you exactly how much ESSER made of that, but majority of it driving that is ESSER. So then you got your debt service fund, which once again, that's usually money in and money out for the debt service. Capital project funds, down toward the bottom, you can see proceeds from your bonds. So once again, you issued the bonds and you ended with a fund balance of $6.2 million because the projects are just really getting going. In fact, I sat through quite a presentation from this gentleman in the Finance Committee meeting this evening already. So there's obviously a lot happening there that you're going to hear about later today. And then you have the other governmental funds on the end, and the idea behind those is those are the smaller funds, and they want you to keep focused on the big ones. So if you're interested in the smaller ones, obviously you do get a trial balance every month from Mark, so he has those details, but once again, the financial statements are trying to say, go back and look at the big ones, keep your mind on those. And then you get into the footnotes in the back, and there's really not much to cover there. They're pretty consistent from the prior years. I was going to skip back toward the back, which is the budget to actual report for the general fund, which is on page 43, which I went quickly, so I'll give you guys a second to get back there. So what's one thing to point out here is you got your original and your final budget, actual, and then it shows you the variance from your actual to your final. And you can see that there were some amendments from the original to the final. But just make sure you keep back in your mind that when you're adopting the original budget, you don't know your student count, you don't know your per pupil funding, you don't know any of these things. So that's always best guess by management to try to come up with those. Same on the expenses down below. If you take a look at the expenses, there really wasn't too many line items that were amended. You know, the biggest amendment that you did during the year was operation and maintenance. And to me, that's probably the one department that you're guessing at and you get the most surprises, because who knows when stuff's going to break and when you got to fix it. So once again, you take a look at it, it tells me management did a very good job with the original budget, which is one I focus on the most. And then if you look at your final to actual, everything's really pretty close, and overall you still ended up with well under budget for the year between revenues and expenses. That's kind of the high points very quickly. Any questions for me? Like I said, I didn't want to talk about this. This is a single audit. This is just for your federal program. Probably the last one you're ever going to get. Mark's pretty happy by that. And once again, that's due to those ESSER funds that we're rolling through. You have to have $750,000 in expenses before it's necessary. Normally, you don't hit that threshold. So, any questions?
Patrick and Mark are always available too if somebody
No question, yeah, no doubt.
gets a chance to review much more in depth and you have questions. Mark's probably the place to start, and then we can go to Patrick if need be.
If I were to summarize, once again, Christy and Jess and Mark did a great job with our budget last year, and feel really confident going through this year. Yes, fund balance is up, which we all knew because the ESSERs, and this is starting to ride out that roller coaster. So everybody's still on the same team and a few additions. So we're gonna be able to afford all that because of how we've budgeted over the last multiple years. So hats off to them, they did a great job. So, and thank you to you and your team too, Patrick.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. You have a good rest of the evening.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to new business. First thing we need to do is actually accept the 2023-24 financial audit.
I move to accept or approve the audit as presented.
Support.
Okay. I already gave everybody one chance. Anybody want to ask questions now? Okay, hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, say nay. Motion carries, okay. Now, we'll get into a little more detail and discussion about this, but we'll move on to item 638, and this is to approve the OAK recommendation of contractors to issue notice of pending awards. And this is in a letter inside your packet.
It's a couple of pages of information.
Yep. How do we want to?
How about, Matt, do you want to just give some of the high points of the, the work, the little bit of the bid process and how you guys help us work through that and why people are selected?
Yeah, you bet.
Just hit the high points.
So we got a big, exciting project. What OAK does with our associates at Tower Pinksters, we kind of set those out into different bid. We call them bid packages. So we want the the flooring guy to do the flooring. We want the plumbing guy to do the plumbing. So we had 15 different bid packs. We went out to bid October 3rd. We took bids on the 30th. During that process, we have a pre-bid meeting with a contractor. So we have a meeting, they get a chance to actually see the site, see the condition of the actual school. And then the big day is the bid day. So we take all of our bids. We had really good representation. I would say for the majority of the bids, we were really happy with that. And then what we do is we have what's called a post-bid review with the low bidder. And what that means is we have we had Paul, Jake from North Muskegon, we had Tower Pinkster and OAK. We interview with these contractors to say, hey, do you have all the scope? Do you agree with the construction schedule? Are there any skeletons in the closet? So we go through that process to really make sure we get a full scope. We did that with, I believe, 13 of the 15 bid categories. We are extending one bid category that you won't see on your list here, commissioning. But the other bidders, we've got assembled a really good team and coming to you tonight to present that and get those recommendations. So then we can get the contract started with them. We can get the paperwork done, and we can come at spring break running. So.
Yeah. Matt and his team have been great to work with. So what you've got in your packet is a summary and then a breakdown list of what we're approving tonight. And as Matt said, there will be a couple others that trickle in because we've got to do some fine tuning on a couple of the bid packs. But I think 13 of them is what we're getting a jump on today.
Yeah, and if I may just retract, we were really in a fortunate position. Our base bid, so that's kind of our meat and potatoes of the project. Oftentimes we have what are called project alternates, so they're kind of wishes. Like, if we're in a good budgetary stance, we can take care of those wish lists. Right now we're in the position to we had 4 project alternates. 3 of them we're taking, with likely that 4th in December. So I just want to say we've got really good bids coming in, and it's nice to be in a position to take some of those project alternates because not everyone gets that chance. So
a couple other things that I think we could discuss too. There is a lot of allowances built in. I consider them contingencies, but extra money is already budgeted or in there for handling things that we're sure will need to be handled And when they tear into something and we've got to patch the, flooring back or whatever, those are already in there, and we're coming in under budget, so, at this point, so far.
Knock on wood close.
So,
Yeah, I was impressed at the process and how they broke it down in finance committee too, so it looks very encouraging so far.
knock on wood.
Um,
All right, would you care to do it since you
Yeah,
spent
well, yeah.
finance
And
committee?
it's well written out, thank you. I move that O&M Kimball OAK be authorized to issue notice of pending awards in the amount indicated to contractors and suppliers listed below, and that's in your packet, pending confirmation that all requirements of the contract documents have been met. Furthermore, that upon receipt by OAK of the appropriate documentation, contracts be awarded to these contractors and suppliers by North Muskegon Public Schools.
And then you have the list.
Bid categories 1 through 14. One is, I'll just go through the contractors. Extreme Demolition. 2 is Grob Masonry. 3 is Cusac's Masonry
By
Restoration.
one, because there's no number 2 yet.
3, sorry. 4
It's
is
okay.
Cusac's. 5 is Bennett Steel. 6 is Clifford Buck Construction. 7 is Architectural Hardware Company. 8 is Central Ceilings West. 9 is Lansing Tile and Mosaic Incorporated. 10 is Dimension 4 Painting. 11 is Hearst Mechanical. 12 is Rising Electric. 13 is Control Resources, and 14 is Third Coast Test and Balance.
Okay, we do have a motion on the table. Does anybody care to support that, please?
Support.
Any questions that have come up during your review or anything? Got Matt here just in case. Okay, hearing none, we'll put this to a vote. All those in favor of the recommended motion, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Okay. Now I lost my spot.
Whole bunch of policies. So,
Yes, next item, 639, reading of policy, first reading of policy updates. Anybody like to address the list?
So everyone got, and it's lengthy, pretty much everything you see on there is changes in law and obviously then recommendations by Neola that we update our policies. Little bit of new, few new things there, but again, relative to Title IX, and also federal fiscal responsibilities of federal dollars. So not really anything that we have a lot of control over, and we did, like we normally do with Neola, take a pretty conservative approach with anything that we did have choices on. So yeah, everyone's gotten them. This is first read, so if you have questions, we could take any tonight, but you could definitely shoot them to us. We'll make sure that everybody gets that information before it comes back next time. But even though there's a whole lot of them, it's kind of a lot of automatics. So
Right.
things that we have to do.
Yep. Okay. No action
No action.
necessary, but did anybody have any initial questions or want to have any follow-up at this point? Okay. All right, next, informational section. Norse Education Foundation. Do we have an update?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on, and we're coming up in December. We have Dorothy Wilson's birthday, and every year we are adding $10 to every student who has a Kickstart to Career account already set up. We're adding $10 to their account. So that's, I think this year that's through 6th grade now. So when kindergartners start, they get through the county, the community foundation, a Kickstart to Career account. And so we are putting $10 in each of those accounts that have been started. We also have our year-end letter will be coming out soon. We're still working on reaching our goals to raise $45,000 this year. Money this year that's raised, you can always direct it to go into the general endowment if that's what you prefer, but we have been working on projects for our principals, where everyone belongs in the middle school, high school, and what we've dubbed the mobile classroom. So we're working on getting iPads so teachers can, during instruction time, walk around the classroom and not be tied up to the front of the classroom. So that's where our money is going this year for the donations that are made. So we also would like to encourage everybody on the board, if they haven't already, to make a donation to Norse Education Foundation. We hope to get 100% of everybody donating this year. That would be awesome, supporting our principals and their great programs that they have.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year, yes.
I got my Harbor Hospice today. Okay. Thank you for that update. And Christy, did you want to cover anything with regard to the 2025 calendar?
So it's just like this year, just updated to 2025 dates.
Did anybody see any issues or concerns about that?
It'll keep coming till we make the final decision in January.
And this is just
That's
an
at the,
initial
org meeting, isn't it?
Yep, organizational meeting in January. So we've got time to tweak this if needed.
Okay. And we are on to board comments. How about you?
All right. I am glad the students came and reported. It's awesome to see so much that they are doing and that it's initiated by them as well. That's exciting to see that movement. Welcome to Carrie Williams too. That's exciting to have her here. And thank you to Christy, Mark, and Jess for all the hard work with everything with the reports. It's intense and a lot of time put into it, so thank you. And I also want to do a big shout out to Phil Friesner for the Veterans Breakfast. My husband and I attended. He's a Navy vet, and it was very emotional and very well done. And the choir and orchestra both performed, and it was a really, really cool event. So thanks to Phil and all of his hard work.
I want to take a minute just to highlight, we heard a little bit about it, but academic awards in the NHS induction. I went to that, it was my first time at this event, and I went to that just last week, and it was such a great show of what we do, you know, what North Muskegon does so well. So many kids receiving academic awards for, you know, maintaining very high GPA levels, not just for 1 year, 2 years, but 3 consecutive years. And it was just really such a great showcase. The NHS ceremony was really, really well done, and it celebrated the students for all the really great, wonderful things that North Muskegon is known for. And so that was just, you know, a really pleasure. So Jen, thank you, and to your staff for putting that on, and that was a really fun, great moment from the board. I'm gonna also shout out choir. Our students have been doing some great things, but and the football team did great, so that's very exciting. Also on Saturday, Beth Slumko took a bunch of choir students to a state musical theater competition, and all students that performed earned top ratings, Division I ratings, 2 perfect scores, and the harmonics group won their kind of top best in show for the competition, and are invited to perform at another event later this year. So they did very well. Congratulations to them.
I would like to echo all of that with thanks to the girls for coming and talking to us. And I just think it's like they're not just listing off clubs that the school has, like they were in most of them, which is bananas. Like Steve said, when do you have time to go to class? Welcome to our new teacher. Thanks to Patrick, Mark, and Jess for all of your hard work. And Christy. Thank you, Matt, for all of your hard work. It's going to be so exciting to see more changes on this end of the building. And good job, Neff. I love that we're helping kids with their accounts. Yeah, and super excited about football. If anyone was at the semifinal game last year, it's very exciting that we beat Menominee this year.
I don't know if there's anything left to add to any of that, so I'll just say I'll echo what has been said.
I don't have much of anything to add, but I do want to say thanks to Mark, Jess, Christy, Patrick and his staff for a great deal of behind the scenes work, and I appreciate all the efforts put in there. Matt and your team, I've been involved in project management and all sorts of stuff over my career, but there's no way I could handle all that you guys do, and we certainly appreciate as a school board that we've got good partners who can be experts in construction and building improvement and help us along the way. And then also, yes, it's always wonderful when we can get those student reps repping different groups and stuff, hearing what else going on, and thank you, Lisa. I didn't know half of that stuff about the choir or anything else, so. But thank you all, and I appreciate it.
Steve? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's much more to say as far as what we went through. I agree, everything, the work the finance team does, business ops, and it's a well-oiled machine for sure. So we appreciate everything you guys do. The NHS, I was unfortunately not able to be there in person, but thanks to the streaming, I saw it from Raleigh, North Carolina. So. With a bunch of coworkers, so that was a lot of fun. And so my wife said, "Oh, see if it's streaming." I'm like, "They're not going to stream that." I'm like, sure enough,
Falls everywhere.
So I doubted my Paul, but it came through, I'm sure.
Put that in the comments.
Put it in.
Never understate Paul.
Yeah, right. So. Other than that, yeah, I was at the game too, Menominee, so it was quite a drive, and but it was a lot of fun. We drove around the lake, so there you go. Looking forward to next week. So, all right, thank you. Yep, that's all I got.
Good luck. Good luck to our football team. I'm very proud of them, and it's cool that they've been able to go as far as they have this year, and they'll represent us well. I'd also like to say I've done my weekly visit to the new baseball complex, and today it's even better, Stephen. Yeah, it really is.
I didn't get there.
I'm very proud, but at the same time, I've got to say to the coaches like Walt Kukowski that that was their home field when you guys were growing up, and a lot of others too. So I'm looking forward to seeing the first game.
I don't have anything more to add except it's a great day to be Norseman.
Yep.
We're doing pretty good.
I do want to add
Thanks,
one
everybody.
more thing before we quit, and I appreciate the whole board. A lot of work goes in committee meetings and so on to prep for these meetings, and appreciate all you guys too. So thank you.
I have one more thing too.
Okay.
Very proud of the kids that were serving breakfast to our veterans and visiting with them. They didn't hesitate at all to walk up to a veteran walking in the door for the first time and greeting them and then taking them to a place to sit down, and they visited with them until it was time for us to have breakfast. And that's just a cool thing.
Okay, we will say meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.